Hello and welcome back to the Snakebite. It is our weekly sports show that airs every single Wednesday at noon. I'm John Kristovich with James Simpson, and we are officially taking our first look towards the winter season of moccasin athletics. Plus, we'll get you caught up on the last week of action and check out what the postseason is looking like for our fall teams. Here is this week's edition of the Snakebite.
Well, let's start by catching you up on this past week's games as we look at the rundown of scores. As you can see, it was a light week for the Mocs as we saw both soccer teams' regular seasons wind down with each group picking up a late season win. The volleyball team was extremely busy on the road as they dropped 3 tough matches against some of the better teams in the Sunshine State Conference. We also saw the men's tennis team compete at the St. Leo Hidden Duels, while the women's team competed at the Mercer Gridiron Classic this week, and both golf teams were in action on the road. John, with the win for the women's soccer team, they've now picked up their 8th straight headed into the postseason.
Yeah, James, and we've been marveling about this team for some time now as we get the opportunity to check out the playoff bracket for the Women's Sunshine State Conference postseason tournament. And well, on Halloween night, there was some scary good competition over in Melbourne, Florida, as Florida Tech took on Barry to determine who the Mocs would face here at home tomorrow night. And as you can see there, the Panthers won, so they will come to FSC for the semifinals before the championship game on Sunday. And remember, James, earlier this season, the Mocs beat the Panthers 1-0.
That's right, and John, the men's team went 1-1 this week as they closed out their season, failing to qualify for the SSC tournament by just a couple of points in the standings. They tied in 5 conference games this season, proving that they were just a single play away at any point from being one of the better teams in the conference. Instead, they finished in 9th place despite a truly remarkable performance this year from graduate student transfer Henry Topovan, who scored 16 goals and 35 points to finish first in the conference.
Yeah, there's always a silver lining in for Henry Topovan. He turned out to be a great early season pickup for the Mocs. So I mentioned earlier the volleyball team is still in action as they hit the make or break point of their season. I say that the Mocs took a 4-game winning streak into their mini road trip this past week, but really saw all momentum crushed as they lost all 3 matches on the road. And I say that it's make or break time because, frankly, there are just 5 games remaining after last night's battle with Eckerd that finished after our production time. But the Mocs are now 6-8 before last night's match and are firmly hanging around the middle of the conference. And it's been a season of streaks for this team. If they've got another streak in them, it is time to see it now.
Oh yeah, and you know the George Jenkins Fieldhouse has seen a lot of volleyball action so far. It's about to get real crowded though, as the men's basketball season is set to begin this weekend with the Small College Basketball Hall of Fame Classic. We've got 10 games in 2 days here in early November, as we'll see some of the best talent in Division II going at it here in Lakeland. Over the course of this weekend, we'll see Hillsdale, Dallas Baptist, Alabama Huntsville, Lincoln Memorial, Valdosta State, Flagler, West Texas A&M, Northwest Missouri State, and 2 teams from the Sunshine State Conference, the Southeastern Sharks, and of course, the Florida Southern Moccasins.
Yeah, and James, I mean, you talk about a crowded field. You've got the defending national champs. You got a Nova Southeastern team that was #1 in the country for a large portion of the season, regular season undefeated, and then, of course, the Moccasins with something to prove on their home court. Of course, for more information on this really, really exciting weekend of basketball, check out smallcollegebasketball.com or fscmocs.com. The home team, of course, the Moccasins will get the chance to take on Flagler College on Saturday before facing West Texas A&M on Sunday. Let's take a look at our Week in Mocs history moment, and today we are looking at November 3rd, 2009, when the women's soccer team battled Lynn University in the first round of the SSC tournament. The Mocs won in clutch fashion, scoring in double overtime to take down the Lynn Fighting Knights 3-2. And then they went on to beat Florida Tech just 4 days later to qualify for the championship game. And the Mocs look to repeat history tomorrow night as they do take on the Panthers once again in the semifinals of the Sunshine State Conference tournament. Really, really exciting week here in Lakeland. John Kristovich and James Simpson saying thank you so much for tuning in with us here at FSC TV, and happy November. We've got so much to be thankful for. It's going to get real busy real quick here in Lakeland. We will see you next Wednesday at noon.